Get questions about why we haven't seen Vegeta's brother Tarble truly featured in Dragon Ball Super. He's been mentioned, but that's been about it. And I believe that was during the Battle of Gods or Revival of F arc. I can't quite remember. One of those two. Either way, Vegeta's brother Tarble is said to be extremely weak and possesses no real strength, especially in comparison to his brother Vegeta. So it'll be interesting to consider how Dragon Ball would actually be if Vegeta's brother Tarble was actually featured alongside Vegeta from the very beginning to where we are now. And that's kind of where this story is going to take place. So again, we know Vegeta and Tarble both related, and Tarble has always been significantly weaker than that of Vegeta. Now, we don't really know exactly how their relationship was growing up, with obviously Vegeta being the older brother, but we can assume Vegeta really didn't have too much of a holler for his younger brother. If anything, he would maybe defend his younger brother in extreme circumstances if Tarble was actually threatened by some outside force, but other than that, it doesn't seem like Vegeta really cared or was really invested in Tarble's growth, development, or anything in regards to his life. So I believe it's safe to say that Tarble has probably always lived in the shadow of his older and stronger brother Vegeta. And as we transition into the first part of this story, which would obviously begin during Dragon Ball Z, a lot of people probably have figured out that Tarble was essentially a character that was never going to really be used, hence why they created Kabe from Universe 6, because you can kind of see that brother relationship there between Vegeta and Kabe. Kabe obviously being much younger, smaller, and he actually resembles Tarble in appearance as well. So that's kind of the way they manifested that relationship between Vegeta and his actual brother, but instead they actually introduced a Saiyan that would actually have some sort of role and significance in Dragon Ball Super during the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament, as well as the Tournament of Power. It's kind of the way they're saying, okay, we're not actually going to use Vegeta's brother Tarble, so we're going to give you Kabe. That should be close enough and be satisfied with it, unfortunately. Personality-wise, Tarble obviously is a polite and gentle Saiyan, but he lacks the initiative to fight, and obviously he lacks the natural aggression of a pure-blooded Saiyan like that of his brother Vegeta. This obviously forces his father, King Vegeta, to banish Tarble away from planet Vegeta to a remote planet. Now, despite their estrangement, Tarble does actually get along quite well with his older brother. Well, at least in Tarble's eyes, he thinks very highly of Vegeta, and he praises him and mistakes his belief that it was Vegeta who defeated Lord Frieza. Tarble seems to have some sort of a decent relationship with his sister-in-law and new nephew, and he had no problem having Trunks fight two foes he said that were stronger than Frieza. And even though he's expressed concern for Trunks' well-being, Tarble still has a very loving relationship with those around him, especially his wife, who is, well, of course, an alien, which most of us know about that kind of off-branded episode. And since his childhood, he proudly introduces his wife to Vegeta, who is obviously a little bit surprised at the choice of a partnership that his younger brother Tarble has chosen. So that's just a little bit of the basic personality. Now we're going to tap into the background and a little bit deeper around Planet Vegeta's destruction. Now, considering that Tarble was indeed of royal blood, he was still technically considered to be a low-class Saiyan warrior because he lacked that natural aggression and he lacked those fighting skills that would have classified him as a higher class of Saiyan warrior lineage like that, obviously, of his brother Vegeta. Tarble did not have that same aggression. He didn't have the same combat experience, the same combat skills, hence why he was technically classified as a low-class Saiyan and banished away from planet Vegeta by his own father, King Vegeta. So now with all that out of the window, we're actually going to tap into a story of Tarble actually demonstrating and showcasing his strength. And this begins 2 years after Kid Buu was defeated by Goku and Goku's Spirit Bomb. Now, something very important happens next, as Mr. Satan is being questioned about the defeat of Buu. Two quote-unquote attack balls land on Earth, while the Z fighters and everyone are eating and having a good time. Now, obviously, Piccolo and Gohan are the first to notice these two mysterious attack balls that have landed. Then 18 notices, then Krillin, and eventually everyone stops eating because the atmosphere has obviously become very intense. They're wondering who or what is this? Who has landed on our planet? What do they want? Are they going to want to fight? Are they here for anything else? so on and so forth. So then a sharp-eyed Saiyan and a small alien emerge from the two spaceships. So this goes a little bit differently than what the Z Fighters and crew were expecting. Now, using his scouter to detect higher battle powers, the Saiyan soon arrives at the party. Upon seeing Vegeta, the Saiyans call him, quote, Big Brother, or the Saiyan calls him Big Brother. The Z Fighters are all shocked by this sudden truth. This Saiyan introduces himself as Tarble, Vegeta's brother, as well as introducing his wife. Vegeta says that Tarble had been sent off to a remote planet because he had no talent for battle. Tarble begs our heroes to defeat Abo and Kato, who have ravished his planet and pursued him to Earth. Now, for a little bit of background information, Abo and Kato essentially are two henchmen of Frieza that went to Tarble's planet and started causing chaos and destruction. It's really all you need to know. So as we come back here to present day when Tarble and his wife are here on Earth talking to Vegeta, Goku says that if Abo and Kato are strong, he will fight them. Tarble then measures Goku's battle power with his scouter and says that he will be of no help due to the fact that he has suppressed his power level far too low for Abo and Kato's strength. Now keep in mind, Tarble is extremely behind the times as far as understanding that Saiyans can obviously suppress your battle strength. So he has no idea truly how powerful I think Goku and Vegeta actually are. And the fact that he's still relying on his scouter to tell him that information shows you just how far behind the times Tarble is. I mean, keep in mind, this is 2 years after Kid Buu was defeated. So Tarble is technically using technology and using concepts really back for what? The Saiyan saga? I mean, that's a pretty long time to be kind of out of the loop. Vegeta taunts Tarble for relying on his scouter to check power levels, and as an example, Goku begins to gather ki, as I just said. The battle power reading on Tarble's scouter steadily increases up to millions. It soon breaks the scouter as Goku goes into the Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan transformation, and Tarble is absolutely stunned by this incredible increase of Goku's power. After Goku and Vegeta argue over who should get to fight Frieza's henchmen, Goten and Trunks say that they also want to fight too. Krillin and Gohan said they furthermore enjoy to do so as well, and eventually Master Roshi wants to fight to remember the old days. So now you got all the Z Fighters, the whole crew wanting to get in on the mix to fight two of Frieza's henchmen, which I can't recall the last time it seemed like everybody wanted a piece of Frieza's henchmen so desperately. I mean, even in the revival of F situation, that was more so oh, we have to fight as opposed to we really want to fight. Though it was enjoyable to see the Z Fighters back in action. So Goku thinks it will be unfair if everybody fights the enemies, and he suggests that they select a single representative to fight by drawing lots. So, Goku teleports Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, Yamcha, Puar, Krillin, Roshi, Oolong, Videl, Chi-Chi, Bulma, Tarble, and his wife, Gure to Mount Paozu. Goku suggested that each draw a radish, and the person who draws the longest radish will be the representative to fight Frieza's henchmen. So after numerous tries from others, Goten draws out a very long radish, and it seems he will be the one to first fight. This of course makes the Prince of Saiyans Vegeta jealous, and he tells Trunks to pull out an even bigger radish. Now pressured by his father, Trunks pulls out what at first seems like a very short, thin radish, which then turns out to be the longest one. This means that Trunks, Vegeta's son, wins, and he will fight the enemies instead of Goten. Now, proud that his son will fight, Vegeta tells Trunks to avenge quote-unquote Uncle Tarble. He then asks Tarble, whose wife is there as well, and Tarble introduces, obviously, her as his wife to Vegeta's shock, and he actually bows in respect. Now, we all know Vegeta's very respectful in that regards. I've always appreciated and loved that about his character. In fact, that's always been my gripe with Goku. I feel like Goku, as he's gotten older, he's shown a lack of respect in situations where Vegeta obviously knows to show his respect. And I'm going to continue to make that argument because for diehard Goku fans, they continue to refute and deny that Goku doesn't show respect or whatever, but that's the truth. Goku is kind of just oblivious to these etiquette related things, and Vegeta isn't. So I always like seeing that. Anyways, Master Roshi says that the Saiyans tend to pick strange wives, which makes Chi-Chi and Bulma mad, and they both hit Master Roshi for that insult, which I guess Roshi kind of has a point, but at the same time, Saiyans pick strong women. Now, Bulma's not strong as a fighter, but obviously she's one of the smartest and probably not the most intelligent female Earthling, obviously on planet Earth, and Chi-Chi is a very good fighter in her own right, which a lot of people tend to forget as well.